Poverty is an enemy of people, guys, and growing up with little doesn't just affect your pocket, it also affects your mind, the way you think, the way you decide, and the way you fear money even when you start earning. Can you imagine that? You are working date 1 up to date 31st or date 30th, you get that salary, but you are fearing this money. Yes, it is your money, but even deciding on what to buy and what not to buy, it is just another work for you. You have that fear at the back of your mind. You have a lot of questions. What do I spend on, and what should I not spend on? Have you ever been in such a situation, guys? This is something I have lived with for the longest period of time. And today I want to talk about how poverty changes the way you think about money. This is my story. I grew up knowing that money was never guaranteed. Having food on the table was never guaranteed. It was there when it is there. When you see the food, it is when it is there. But I could not sit like this and just tell my mom, I feel like I need to eat chicken today. I need to eat like those chips. Actually, that was a luxury. You don't spend because you want, you spend because you must do so. Things like food, shelter, school fees were treated as first priorities. I knew those are the only basic needs, are the only things that I need in my life. Therefore, there were never a room for mistakes. And there was no room also for luxury. By luxury, I'm talking about the things we are seeing in today's world or with our kids right now. Your kid can wake up today and they will tell you, Mom, today I want to go to eat at that KFC. I want to eat chicken. I want to go somewhere and play. You know those places we normally go for luxury or maybe to play, just to break that monotony of sitting in your house daily, and your parent takes you there, you go and play. I know even my time there are children who were in that situation, children who were blessed, their parents were well up, and they could enjoy every bit of their lives simply because their parents were blessed and they had something that they could do, whatever they could provide for them, whatever they needed. Not that our parents never loved us. On my side, I can attest that my parents were the best and best parents I would wish to have even in the next world. Especially my mom, that woman, she is everything, guys. She loved us, only that she was not able to provide for us like those luxury things, but at least she tried. We had somewhere to lay our heads. Sometimes we had food, sometimes we didn't have that food. We had something to cover our bodies with. I mean clothes. We had, even if you had just 2 pairs of clothes, that was enough for us then. And for that case, money for me never felt like a freedom. It felt like a survival. And that's how I grew. Guys, as I have said, this is my story and you should not judge me. I know you grew up maybe in a different environment or maybe almost the same as the one I grew up. If we are not in the same track, maybe you can't relate to this. It's okay. We are not here to judge anyone. I could see children with 2, 3 pairs of shoes and clothes. They are changing like every Christmas. They know we must wear new clothes. But for us, I don't know when I was growing how many times I wore a new dress or anything new during the Christmas period because we were not lucky enough to have that. But I thank God at some point I got a dress for Christmas. It was that time when my sister started working, and one Christmas she decided to surprise me with a dress. Not even a dress, it was a skirt and a top, and I was so happy, guys. I used to look at some of my friends, those of them, they had like every Christmas they have a dress, shoes, like everything is new. But for me, it was never like that. But at the end of the day, what used to stress me, it was only at some point when we could not maybe have something to eat. That was the only stress I had as a kid. I was growing up and I knew having chapatis during Christmas, especially in our village, it was such a great milestone. If your parent was able to purchase a packet of unga then and cook for you chapatis, that was such a joy in the family, and you could like walk everywhere and tell everyone today we are cooking chapati. But today, looking back, things happen, guys. I hope in my entire life I will even teach my children in future that you should not look down on others. For now, if you are a parent and you are watching me, kindly teach your child at a young stage that they should never look down on other children because maybe they are poor or maybe they can't afford the life you are living. Never do that. This is life, and sometimes tables turn. We don't wish anyone bad luck, but tables turn. You never know what tomorrow holds. Those times when I was growing up, I used to promise myself a lot of things. I could sometimes share with my mom, tell her that when I grow up, when I will start working, mom, I'll do this and this for you, I'll buy for you this and this. You know, that child, when you are growing, the things that you used to admire, even you see them with other girls, the girls who have maybe grown up before you, they are older than you, but you saw them when they were in the village, now they are in the towns, you see how they are treating their parents, and you're like, one day I'll just be like so and so, and I'll treat my mom right. Those are the things I used to promise myself. Sometimes myself, I could not even tell my mom, but at some point I used to tell her, Mom, I'll do this and this, and she could tell me, I know you will do this and that one day, one time. But I'm still in that process. I have not done everything like I had promised her, because life is again that not that good. But now the problem comes when you start earning. You remember you grew up in poverty with nothing, and now you have started working. Maybe you are earning a little amount of money. Sometimes it is stressful. You are waiting for this money, and you are like, when I get this money, what am I going to buy and what am I not going to buy? Because again, life is not easy. Things are very expensive, especially in towns. I'm talking about Nairobi. Sometimes you get like maybe 20,000, and in this 20,000 you have to plan for everything. You want to maybe to pay rent, school fees, do a lot of things, and again you need to support that parent back there so that she can't feel forgotten. Remember, you promised her something. No, it is not a must you do it, but inside your heart you are like, now I don't know what I can do. Small spending decisions feel so heavy for me at some point. Let me open about this. Even buying something nice for myself comes with a lot of guiltness. Can you understand this, guys? Imagine I am working, I am the one who is waking up, going to work very early in the morning to look for this money. I get this money, but I can't treat myself right. Why? Because I am having that money, yes, but I have a lot of things that need this money, and when I calculate everything, like there are some things that I will not be able to do, like I will not be able to purchase literally everything I want at once. But again, I promise myself next time I will do better. I don't just see the items that I want to buy. Maybe I want to buy a dress, a shoe for myself. I see what the money could have done instead of this. This is just an ethics situation for me. Sometimes I sit back and ask God, is this normal, and why am I like that? Am I overthinking? I don't know what's wrong with myself, but I ask myself, what if something comes up tomorrow? Today I have spent this money. Today maybe I decided to take myself out to go and have a good time, maybe enjoy some drinks and some good food, nyama choma. At that point I have spent like maybe 5K. I start asking myself questions. This is poverty, guys. And I pray and wish that if you watch this video, you never go through the same. I ask myself, what if this money is needed elsewhere? What will I do? What will I do? I have already spent, and I'll feel so bad. Imagine I have gone somewhere and I have spent 5,000 on myself just for eating and enjoyment. I know 5,000 might sound very kidogo for someone, but for me, it might be something big. So I imagine that now I have gone there, I have spent this money, I have enjoyed, really enjoyed to the fullest. Now I am back. Imagine if something bad happens, maybe an emergency, that money is needed somewhere, and that time I have just spent that money elsewhere. It hurts me so bad. I feel so bad when I imagine of that. That's why I'm telling you, doing something good for myself, I'm scared even to do it for myself. I know someone might judge me out there, but if you have ever been in such a situation, maybe you can relate. And the truth is, I don't fear being broke because I am irresponsible. I fear it because I have been there. Some people thinking that when you start working, everything goes on smoothly, like everything changes everywhere. If it is something you needed to buy, you will buy. Things that you are admiring, you can get them easily. It's okay. And again, it depends with your situation and your background. But poverty doesn't disappear. As much as you are working, poverty is always behind you by maybe 1 mile, because if you misuse the money you are getting when you are working, that is where you will fail, and that's when you will realize that poverty was just a mile behind me, because it will follow you quietly. You will never realize it As much as maybe you are working on daily basis and you are smart, you know how to save, you know how to spend your money on things that matter, you know how to invest on your money, you will never know it. But again, if you don't know how to save money, you don't understand these tricks in the town, poverty will always be with you hand on hand. You have this money, yes, but again, if you just slide a bit, ukislide kidogo hivi, umerudi tena, you are back to that poverty life, that struggling life, and no one wants to struggle in this life. If anything, everyone wishes to have a nice and a better life. In most cases, you overthink about every decision you make, especially on my side. I said this is my story, and I know someone out there might relate to it. You save even when you are exhausted. Sometimes you have just a little, uko na pesa kidogo sana, and you are like, what do I do? Do I save? Do I buy something, or what do I do? But because you have been there, as I have said, you have been in poverty, you grew up in poverty, you have been struggling, you are like, man, I choose saving. Let me save, even if it means saving 100 shillings this month, let me do so. When you save, as a person who has been in poverty, you feel like you have gone like another step. You feel like it is such a win for you. Saving something for someone who has been struggling means so much. It doesn't matter the amount of money you are going to save, but it means a lot. You deny yourself joy because your mind is always preparing you for the worst. As I have said, sometimes I overthink. I'm like, if I spend this money on this direct thing, maybe I went out, I did what I did, I came back, and something has happened that needs that money, and I have already spent just on eating and enjoyment. I will feel so bad. That's why I'm saying there are some things I can't do because I am like 1 plus 1 is not 11. So I have to do my maths properly. I calculate every coin and understand where it is going. And no one really talks about how tiring this can be. Imagine working from 1 month to the other and you can never treat yourself right. That's so much unfair, and it is so tiring. And with time, I started understanding something very important for me, that being careful with money is not a weakness. Rather, it is a skill I learned the hard way, especially on my side. I have been struggling for the longest time. While I was growing up, while I was a young girl, I could see my mom struggle to raise us, and that was poverty. That was painful. And as I was growing up, I used to tell myself that one day, one time, I'll just try to make things work for the goodness of myself and for my family, especially my mom. I want her to enjoy. I feel that I can still remember what I promised her, and that I just want her also to live a better life. So I am so careful when it comes to money. I don't just spend money in the name of just spending. I have the reasons to spend, and I don't misuse money. The problem is not being cautious for me. The problem is forgetting that I also deserve to live, not just surviving. I have survived for the longest time. Imagine from that little girl up to where I am today, a grown up woman, and I'm still surviving. No, sometimes I tell myself I am not going to survive. I am supposed to live because I wake up, I go out there, I try to look for money. I get, sometimes I don't get, but again, I remind myself I am human being and I am in charge of my life, and whatever I am doing, I am the one who decides to do it or not. So, you out there who is going through the same, maybe you treat yourself that way. I understand how that can be hectic. I understand how much you fight with your mind. You don't tell anyone, you don't show it to people, but how much you overthink inside your mind, and you're like, what do I buy? Should I buy this or should I not buy? Should I take myself out and buy something for myself and enjoy because I normally work hard. I know, I can understand, I can relate to this because I have been there. What I can just tell you, remind yourself every time that that body of yours is the one that works for this money, and it deserves the best. You deserve to live and not to survive. So if you grew up with little and money still scares you, even at this point, you are not broken. Your mind is just trying to protect you from something. It is still reminding you of where you come from, and sometimes it is still reminding you to be careful not to go back there. Therefore, healing your relationship with money takes time. It takes patience and it takes kindness towards yourself. I am still learning, still unlearning fear, still choosing progress over pressure. And if this story sounds like yours, or maybe you can relate with it, know that you are not alone. And thank you so much, guys, for sitting with me here. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.